Aloha friends, it's Robert Stellick with Blue Planet Surf. In today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about my new foil, the Mike's Lab 340. It's such a small foil. I'm still blown away that I can actually ride this thing, but it has a surprisingly good amount of lift, even though it's so small. So I recently bought this used from a friend at a relatively good price. They're still not cheap, even used, but this foil is incredibly fast and easy to control at higher speed. So that's what makes this foil special. I now have three Mike's Lab foils. I have the 600, the 540, and the 340. And this 340 is such a tiny wing, but it has surprisingly good lift for its size. So last year in the M2M and M2O races, I raced with other racers like Alan Cadiz and Ken Winner, and they were on this much smaller foil. I was on the 600. I only brought the 600. I probably should have brought the 540 at least. But on the 600, I just couldn't keep up with Alan Cadiz and Ken Winner. They were super fast. So I decided I'm going to give this one a try, even though I'm a little bit heavier guy. And so far, I really like it, especially in strong, steady winds. Obviously, it takes a little bit more speed to get up and going than the 600 and the 540. But once you're up, it has a surprisingly good amount of lift. So I haven't really had problems with staying up on foil as long as there's some steady wind. And it goes upwind really well. I haven't had any issues going upwind, and then downwind is just a rocket. And I guess what I find is not necessarily is the top speed much higher. So the top speeds, I would say, are probably pretty comparable. Like you can push the 600 or the 540 to similar top speeds, but just over long periods, flying at high speeds with this foil is just, you just feel a greater sense of control. Like it's easier to control at higher speeds, and that really makes a difference, because when you're crossing channel for an hour plus, you get tired, you might lose your focus for a moment. So the comfort and the ease of going at a high speed really makes a difference there. So it's easier to keep your focus and keep that high speed, steady high speed, and that results in really high average speeds. The mast I'm using is a 98 centimeter mast. I also have a 103 centimeter mast. I haven't really decided which one I like better. Going downwind, when there's a lot of chop in the water, it's definitely easier to use a longer mast. Probably the longer the better. But sometimes, upwind or just free riding, it's nice to have a little slightly shorter mast for more control, and also not as deep, if not as likely to touch the bottom with the foil. And that's something you want to be careful about with the Mike's Lab. Obviously you don't want any scratches on these super high performance machines, so avoid touching the bottom at all costs, basically. So yeah, and then the attachment system is very unique. It just has 3 screws plus an extra screw. You can put a little washer behind the back screw to adjust the angle of the tail wing slightly, but otherwise it's all one fixed unit. There's not really any options to adjust or change anything. Down here is the Tuttle connection to the mast, and obviously the Tuttle has the least amount of drag. There's no base plate to drag in the water, so just less drag in the water to get up to foiling speed and pop up. Then the other advantage of the Tuttle mast is that all the carbon fiber goes straight down the mast into your board and connects directly into your board, whereas on a plate mount the carbon goes down and then comes out, so it doesn't connect into the board itself. So I find the Tuttle system a great system, and then our Blue Planet Wing Racer board comes with the foil strong box. You can use it with either a plate mount or a Tuttle mount. They also make an adapter, so you can use the Tuttle mount on a plate mount board. But then you kind of give up that advantage of having less drag from a base plate. So I need more time on this foil for sure, but today is windy, so I'm going to use it. I'm going to do some more testing. This is like my 5th or 6th time on it. Surprisingly good, surprisingly fast. I'm going to go upwind to the blinker buoy and back. I've been timing myself to see how fast I can do that run upwind and back downwind again, and compared to the 540 and the 600. So obviously It really depends on the amount of wind. If I have strong, steady wind, I'm comfortable using this foil. If the wind is a little bit on the light side and kind of on and off, I would definitely use either the 540 or the 600 Mike's Lab for racing, just to have that margin of safety, because this foil does drop off a little bit sooner, obviously. You know, if you slow down, you kind of have no pressure in the wing, there's a little lull in the wind, it does come off foil easier. And then also it takes a little bit higher speed to take off, obviously, you know, so you need a little bit more speed to get going and come up on foil. But then once you're up, I found it's pretty easy to keep it up on foil. Hasn't been an issue. And sometimes when I tack, I still come off the foil. Usually I'm able to get right up back up on foil pretty quickly, but it's something I'm working on. I'm starting to pull off more and more of the tacks without coming off foil. The jibes have been pretty easy to go through the jibe without coming off foil, but those are things I'm working on and excited to try this out, hopefully in this summer's races. In the channel races, if we have enough wind, I'll be on the swing, see how it goes. Okay, I hope you liked this video, a little comparison of the Mike's Lab foils that I have. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Make sure to subscribe to the Blue Planet Surf YouTube channel. We'll see you on the water. Aloha.